What's up, y'all? My name's Tim Ream. I'm here today on the 70th day of 75 Hard. Still have 6 full days until that program is over, so going good. Anyways, today is going to be chest and calves. I'm going to leave calves for the end of the workout. There is going to be one kind of minor change or a couple minor changes that I make to the progression of the routine. I'm going to do, I was watching a video the other day, and it was actually of Sam Sulek and Samson Dada, and they were doing chest together, and Sam was trying to push a bunch of weight, and Samson was like not even worried about weight at all, and he was just doing a lot of really focused type of workouts. So during this workout, I'm going to try to not do as much weight, but really just flex and contract and squeeze the entire time and just try to get the most out of this entire workout that I possibly can. I'm going to switch up the progression of the workouts too, to where I usually do like a bulk movement at first, and then I break into the isolated type of work, with single arm stuff. So this time I'm going to do the isolated type of stuff and then go over to the heavier stuff, because I feel like it's going to give more of a weak link. Once I pre-exhausted the Pecks with the ISO, then I feel like once I go over to the heavier movements, then there's just going to be that much more weight bearing down on the pec itself. So I'm going to try that. I feel like one other thing too, I wrote it down. Oh, the warm-up set. So I've been kind of in this black and white area to where it's like I'm going to do one warm-up set before I get right into my heavy set to failure. And then here lately, I've been doing maybe like 2 before I get into my thing. So I've been kind of experimenting. Well, this workout here, I'm just going to go by total feel, and I'm going to do as many sets as I feel like I need to until I'm like, okay, like I'm there now. So I'm going to just go totally off of what my body's feeling like. I'm still going to keep the volume low, right? We don't want to take it up too much, because then that's going to demand more recovery ability from our body. But the thing is, I just want to go a little bit more by feel on the first couple workouts, just to really make sure I'm really connected, really pre-exhausted as I move into those heavy sets to failure. And then I'll start moving along pretty fast from, warm-up set to failure set. So I typically wouldn't start with this exercise, but it's going to be the standing incline cable fly. It's kind of a long name for it, and I've got lighter weights on there, so I'm just going to do several warm-up sets until I feel like I'm just like really, really good and warm, and then I'll start moving into the other workouts. But anyways, let's get on and let's go. And another thing is, I'm kind of hesitant to start changing up my exercises and the progression in which I actually, have them all laid out, because I've made progress doing what I've been doing, so I'm hesitant to change it up. But I feel like this will be a better progression, so I'm kind of like, I still want to get the most out of this workout. So, sometimes you do just got to change it up and just take the chance, and I'm taking a little bit of a chance today.
What's up, everyone?
All right.
This is the True Podcast.
Listen to Honey Rambaud and Andy Frisella.
Because I have a very
They're doing a podcast together.
Is the CEO of First Form.
All right, let's do it.
S2 Supplement Superstores and the Ladder of 75 Hard. His name is Andy Frisella. I know him as a really good friend, and you know him as a motivational speaker. So let's get him online and let's see what we have to talk about today. What's up? What's going on?
Just getting the incident for a minute. What's happening?
You're not matching me right now, are you? Are you doing camo?
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude. First you steal my glasses. I saw them on Instagram. Camo.
Full of show. Bro, that's what funny, dude. Oh my god. I did that shit.
Yeah, I've never even seen you ever wear that shirt.
I just got it. Dude, how many times have I worn this for?
And one thing is too, like, I'm going to start out with a lot lighter weight, and I'm going to find the weight that I can do comfortably while squeezing and contracting as much as I possibly can with good stretches and good contractions at the end of the motion.
This is what Cameron's wearing.
And the thing is, like,
This is what Andy's gonna wear, so you have to match.
your ego kind of takes a little bit of a hit because you want to come in here and push some heavy weight. But really, if you get down to it, like your muscle doesn't know, oh my God, that's a 45-pound weight or that's a 80-pound weight. All it knows is the type of stress that you're putting it under. So really, it's a little ego deflating, but if you get right down to it, it's like, do you want to actually, you know, be a weightlifter where I just come in here, I move a lot of weight, or do I want to be a bodybuilder? Because you are actually going to have to do it, do two different type of regiments for one or the other, right? And so I feel like I've been drifting off into trying to get it stronger whenever I could actually be toning it down just a little bit and just making sure that I'm really squeezing and keeping a really good focus on that muscle group I'm looking to work. And that's one thing that I feel like I missed a long time ago. I just go in the gym and just move around a lot of weight rather than stay really focused and isolated while I am doing those workouts. All right, bump up a little bit of weight. Like I said, I'm going to go by feel today.
I agree. I think you said something in one of his latest posts, and because so many people are going on, and we were talking about how I watched the.
So I'm just going to kind of move along as I feel like my body's telling me to. Okay, that's enough rest. Whatever. Like I'm just kind of moving with the flow today.
And it's just crazy because I was in that same boat. I watched his first episode of the studio in Austin, Texas, and then what ended up happening was I was so disenfranchised by the whole look and feel that it just, and the colors and everything else, that it just really put me in a bad headspace that I didn't want to go back. And then I just go back and read the comments every time he posts a new podcast, and people are like, scrap it, it's done. Scrap it. And when he just said, hey, we're working on something new, so you can tell that I think he's giving in.
It's just, for me, like, and I love Rogan, I think he's awesome. I don't listen to his show very often because I just don't, you know me, I don't have time to listen to shows. I listen to your show,
and one thing I've noticed, too, is like, whenever, it's one thing to be in like the contracted position that feels good. But really, in a lot of my exercises that I do, I feel like in the stretched position is where I actually feel like I introduce a lot of that burn and just more fatigue on the muscle. So I've seen while they was working out, they was basically really staying paused in that squeeze or stretch position and really accentuating, you know, on the contracted. So they're just really getting the most out of that entire range of motion. So I could definitely probably slow down a little bit, maybe drop a little bit of weight just to get into that zone where I'm really focused with my mind. And I hate hearing mind-muscle connection, but, you know, get my mind connected with that muscle. And if you can flex it, if you can flex that muscle, then obviously you've got a good mind-muscle connection. It's like you're going to want to try to keep it flexed and squeezed while you're doing it. So, I mean, it's just going to give you that much better of a connection anyways. Bump up weight a little bit.
I think that the information has definitely changed, and I think that people can sense that because what made him so good is he took it from his heart, and he was able to just really keep it raw and organic, and then now all of a sudden, it would be like me telling you can't swear anymore.
Yeah.
If you die.
Yeah, you know I would, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying hard to keep it clean right now.
Yeah. Well, you let it loose, man. I want you to let it loose because at the end of the day,
You know I will.
yeah. And the other thing is, I want a lot of the listeners, whether you're watching this on YouTube or whether you're listening to this on the download, what I want you to understand is the reason why I'm on here right now, one of the main reasons is because of this guy. And it's because of the fact that we've become such good friends, and it's really tough doing this during.
I feel like I had a good connection there. Weight was a little higher, that might have had something to do with it.
And he said was that he's like, we're one of the few people that we talk to as often as we do.
Might do one more warm-up set, but I'm getting close to where I feel like I'm going to want to start blasting home with that last set to failure.
So that I can be able to
Get this set up over here so I can kind of move into it kind of rapidly as I get that done.
wouldn't have done it unless.
And one thing about the setting on this bench is I've had it at setting 3, which ain't as steep of an incline as I would typically like, or as I would ideally like. But once I get up in that 4th setting, for some reason, just that angle has my shoulders clicking. Like, damn it. So I've had to play around with the bench a little bit until I found a range of motion that was good. But whenever I'm lower in the bench like that, on like that setting 3, then I can't get as good of a stretch at the end. So I'm going to go up to 4 and see if I can maybe change that range of motion a little bit maybe, or just drop weight to where, because I'm wanting to, like I said, I'm wanting to slow down and just really fucking focus the whole time I'm doing this and just make sure I'm squeezing the whole time. So, you know, maybe now that I'm not doing as much weight, that might make the difference, so I'm going to try it again. But that's just my thinking behind it. And, oh, it is what it is, dude. I don't know. Just talking. Thinking out loud. Okay. Yeah. I'm feeling this. Starting to feel fucking good here. Feeling a nice little pump.
I don't think I could ever give back when you've given me what I've learned and how I've progressed and all those things. So, I mean, dude, it's mutual.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is that when I see somebody who is really hitting on all 8 cylinders, what I like to do is go back and say, what made this guy do what he did? And I think that one of the major things is that we try to use our passion and our influence to be able to better people. And when we kind of created our own little circle, right? And what it's funny. It's like even when Sal and Tyler was out here and we went to we had it's one of those things where you want to see everybody succeed when you admire the people that you're working next to.
Okay, was going to do one more set to failure, but I ended up getting to the point where I'm like, okay, that is good enough. So I definitely feel like I've worked that out. Now we're going to go into our heavier movements. This is one of the arguments. I personally don't like doing shoulders and chest on the same day. Some people do chest, shoulders, and triceps. It's too fucking much for me in my mind, but the theory behind it is if you burn out your shoulders first, then whenever you get over to the chest and start doing that isolated work, then there's that much more weight bearing down on the chest, and it's taking more of the brunt of that movement. It might be the other way around, might be chest before shoulders or shoulders before chest, but the theory is you're basically exhausting one muscle group, so the other one has to kick in better. So it's kind of along those same lines. I'm trying to exhaust it before I go into the heavier movements, so I get just that much more accentuation on the, that top shelf of the chest. But, yeah. Oh, just talking out loud here. Also noticed too, while I'm playing back these videos, that as I'm moving on the bench, my feet aren't as firmly planted, and there is a reason for that. And it's because I'm like pushing my back and chest against the weight rather than trying to have a firm foundation pushing from my feet. Trying to stay more as isolated on my chest as I possibly can. Yeah, this is a way deeper stretch here. So fuck that guy. It's a natural reaction that we all kind of have. But what we really do is telling the universe, hey, we don't like that guy because he's this more than me. And so what happens is the universe makes it hard for us to get that because it takes it as you don't want that. When you get on winning, that means you don't want him. When you it's a lot more. There's a lot more involved than just not vocally hating on people. It's more about like teaching yourself to truly want the best for other people, even when they're in your same space or a competitor or whatever you see them as. It took me a long time to figure this out, bro. I used God. Yeah, I can definitely feel that now that I did that first. Might be a progression I might end up sticking with. Even though I don't feel as tough doing heavier weight, fuck, dude, I can definitely feel that. It's just all falling right there on the top of that pec there. Are gonna go up in weight, but might not be as drastic and of a heavy set to failure with as much weight on the last one that I do. I don't know. Still feel like I probably need at least 2 warm-up sets and then get into that heavy set. After that, then probably start going into the sets of failure a lot faster. We'll just go by feel on this.
Because the trick is, I think, to get yourself to truly be happy, and then things start to roll a lot easier for you. You know, you have less stress, you got more momentum, you've got an easier path with less resistance. You're not fighting yourself, you're not fighting any of the vibes that you're putting out, and things become a lot better. I believe all of that, you know,
and that's exactly why when we talk about making sure to get the distractions out, get people and cancers out of your personal relationship or your business. Because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. It might even be a short-term struggle. So for those of you that are out there, obviously, he's the CEO of First Form, a supplement company. He's also the owner of 20, how many stores are you up to with that too? You don't even know. You have that many, you don't even know. That means you're doing right. So those are the
All right.
And you say,
throw just a little bit more weight on this.
And let's talk about these milestones of success and what created the platform that you have now. Because again, as I go around, I see a lot of similarities, right? Because we have a lot of parallels. Because we're trying to do the best in the world that we do. I'm right now with the motivational speaking, your business. You know, again, you talk about it all the time.
Trying to stay in that stretch position more. I do a little bit better about keeping my mind and muscle connected the whole time. But still getting a good little workout here. Well, like good isolation. I still feel like I'm getting a lot of stimulation, but probably do a little better about it. And that's probably honestly something you got to, it's just a trial and error thing, a time thing. Learning, you got to learn how to actually get really focused and squeeze on that muscle.
I don't tell you to actually go there and make sure that you're listening, because what ends up happening with Andy is that he keeps it real. I mean, even though he's called, you know,
set the dips up here.
It really is a testament to somebody who's kind of walking you through the whole process. And going back and reflecting on what it was. And I'm going to do that in a nutshell today with you. Is I would like for these listeners to get a better idea of how someone took one store, he made it 25, and how did he also be able to simultaneously, after so many years, I think it's about 10 years, 12 years, to launch a supplement brand and then bring it up. And so for those, this is a motivational piece. This is also an entrepreneurial piece. This is a business piece. I think it's in general, what you're going to get out of this, and what you should get out of this podcast, is understanding that there's a that he's going to show you.
God damn. You tell those warm-up sets and those isolated sets definitely took away from the max on the bench over here. Usually I can hit around 250 for like 10 or 12. This time I've got, I think 230 maybe. No. Damn, 210. I hit that for 4. And I'm going based off feel. I'm not letting the pump run out. Just moving into it kind of gracefully just before the pump runs out. And just feel like I'm, I don't know. Just going off total feel right now. Alright, so work the top of the shelf. Over the years I've done enough for flat bench, so I really don't do much as far as flat goes.
And so
while I'm doing the incline, it is hitting a little bit of that flat pec anyways. But since it's a kind of a weaker part of the muscle group, I'm looking to build that and then the lower chest. So if you go over here to dips, I'm gonna do just some good couple, like, I don't know, do maybe warm up set or two, get into a heavy set to failure. But basically what I'm trying to say is I'm moving from the top and I'm going down to the bottom now.
Like being a trainer and you got some guy and you got ready for a local show and now all of a sudden you want to just rest on that. Whatever the hell it is, don't be complacent. Because if you sit there and get complacent or cocky, what's going to happen is you're not going to grow. So basically, yeah, your personality is very much like that because what you tend to do is you outwardly project confidence, but there's a difference between cockiness and confidence and arrogance. So, because that's why you continue to keep growing. In fact, that faster and faster rate.
yeah, I'm terrible at staying still, bro. Like I was broke for so long that it's like I fucking I'm terrible. And you know, but I think for us, when it came to the retail business, a big year. I would say the turning year for us was 2009-10. At that point, we had been in business for almost 10 years, or 10 years. We started in 1999. Our first day we sold $7. Like, dude, people used to walk in our store and be like, "Yo, what's up? Like, you guys getting ready to close or what?" And I'm like, I don't get mad. I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, no, dude, we're brand new. We're gonna, and I never realized that the reason they said that was because we had so little amount of product. We only had $10,000 of inventory when we started. That's all we had. So, we started out just like almost everybody else starts off in this space. It's really fucking hard. It's really, a grind. It's a day in, day out grind. And so hopefully what I can share here is some stuff that, like you said, will give some nuggets to some of these young bucks coming up to maybe how speed this process.
It's kind of weird because
The first 10 years, bro, mentality was
obviously one of the guys I've gotten a ton of my stuff from is Mike Mincer. And he basically said that you don't evaluate the success of the workout off of the pump. Because if it was about the pump, then there's, 5 million idiots out there getting a pump every single day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And if it was about the pump, then there'd be a lot more Mr. Olympia competitors. He said basically the only time that you can actually tell the success of the workout is whenever you go into the gym, is if you're weaker or if you're stronger. If you're stronger, then obviously the muscle had to get bigger to get stronger. But then you've got the opposing view of somebody who actually won Olympias, and it's Jay Cutler, and he would say that he wouldn't work out until he's had 4 meals in, so he's got all the carbs and hydration that he needs, and he would literally evaluate his entire workout based off of how good his pump was. It's just like, dude, you have so many different opposing and competing views. It's like, who the fuck is right? So, I mean, where I do feel like Mike is saying something important, I think there is something to be said for the pump, because if you're not pumped, then did you actually really get the isolation of that muscle you was looking to work? So I feel like the pump is actually an indication that there was lactic acid built up in that area, and you can actually say, okay, I actually did work this or I didn't. So I actually will deviate off of what Mike is saying, because I feel like the pump is a direct indication of whether you actually got good and isolated on that muscle you was looking to work. So I don't stray away from him a lot, but you always got to cross-reference everything with the real world, and that makes more sense to me. All right, I'm going to go into a heavy set to failure here. Stay good and isolated, good squeeze at the end, get as good of a contraction at the end while flexing it the entire time.
Failing chain of stores, and they called us on a Monday and were like, "Hey, we're closing the stores." I said no. I said, "Don't close them." And this was we were in Springfield, Missouri, which is 3 hours southwest of St. Louis, and the said, don't close it. I said, I'll come right up. And so I drove to St. Louis that day, met with him, figured out a way to take over his leases that he owed a bunch of money on, which turned out to be the best thing I ever did, because I ran the business so poorly that the location was actually stigmatized, meaning that people had a bad feeling when they went in of it being a nutrition store. For me to get those stores to actually work, I had to work off the bad debt, which I didn't have money for. It took me a couple years to pay that.
How do you qualify?
Usually do more weight. That was more slow and deliberate. Most people don't realize whenever I talk about, it's like the speedometer on your car. You want to go to the red line area, then you want to go past that, right? You want to introduce something your body hasn't seen before. And once you get into that red line area, that's something that your body's like has not seen. And you're basically giving it a reason to grow at that point. With that being said, it doesn't have to be necessarily I went up in weight. It can be that. It can be I went up in weight. I went up in reps. I had the duration longer, right? Or or I was more slow and focused and deliberate with that. I went longer this time. So it can be really a number of, at least off the top of my head, 3 different things that you can actually go into that red line area with. It's not necessarily just your strength. So a couple different factors to it. Okay, the next workout, since we've already started going towards the bottom of the chest, I'm just going to start doing just regular flies. Now I usually do them bent over like this, but I think I'm going to try them out just more of a standing vertical type of position and just really fucking try to fly open those the bottom of the pec there. Hit as many warm-up sets as I feel like I need to. Won't be many, 1 or 2 maybe. Just based on how I'm feeling right now, it feels pretty goddamn good. What was that? Start with that here.
At that time when we said we weren't making any money, we were actually making money, we were just reinvesting. So it's a little bit misleading. Like a lot of people hear what I say and they think, fuck dude, you didn't, how would you not, no, it's not that. Like, dude,
start with about 30 pounds, go up to maybe 40, then probably end up with that set to failure at 50.
I wasn't. We played a long game, right? And then we reinvested in our company, reinvesting to grow, so that we could play a real company. And then we ran those stores, the 6 stores, till like 2008 or 9. And we got into a situation where we were coming up short where we needed money. Like, dude, kind of like the dream started to we started to realize that.
But that was at the height of the recession too.
Yeah, for sure. And then we grew 100% every year those 5 years of that recession. And I'm going to tell you how. That's what I'm getting at right here. So Chris and I had an opportunity to go clean carpets at Sears and take over this franchise. For real, dude. I was about 1 inch away from becoming Andy the fucking carpet cleaning guy. Alright? And
Alright.
we started looking at other options.
Good isolation there. I couldn't stay as standing up as vertical as I wanted. I kind of had to bend into it to really get the focus on the muscle I wanted to, but it was definitely a fucking killer ass squeeze on the way up. And just really good in that stretch position there. See, a lot of these little bitty variables and nuances about how to work out is the very things that I've been lacking over the years. And I'm really just starting to get down because I've started to get my hands on good knowledge rather than just, oh, this should work, this should do the trick, and just being a cocky motherfucker with a closed mind. And just actually, I didn't get the results, so it's gotten to the point where it's like I need to go to the people who have the results, and maybe if I mimic them, then I can start getting some of the results they have too. So just got to be open-minded on a lot of this stuff, and I mean, technically,
started talking,
why? It's like going to a job. The first day there, why the fuck would I think I know everything about the fucking manufacturing business? I mean, dude, it's not a deflation. It's not a hit to your ego. Why would you think you're stupid because you've never done math? Like, why would you expect to know how to do math unless you've been doing it for a while? So, like, it's a total misconception that, oh, I should be good at this, but I've never done it. It's like, I used to think I was stupid because I didn't know things that I'd never been taught. Well, duh, that's kind of how life works. So it's like, what the fuck? No, you can get down on yourself for that. And you've got to try to prove something to yourself that I can do this. But it's like you're in a new area and arena of life. So you've got to go in there humble and try to learn from the people who actually do know, or you're not going to get anywhere. All right, we're going to go to one more warm-up set here.
Let's agree that we're going to focus on doing that as much as possible. And from that day forward, we committed to creating that result for people, whatever they needed. We were going to do the most we could to make sure they had that result. And bro, that next 5 years, we grew 100% every year. And that's when things started catching on. And, that was 2009-10. And that's when we started First Form. First Form was kind of a lucky break. I don't use the word luck, but it's kind of chance or whatever. I had a guy, actually my father worked at this company that manufactured powders, and they were doing a product for Target, and they asked me to come in and consult to ask if the product was any good or not. They're asking me as a supplement store owner.
I've seen somebody doing chest with rings. So it's like the Olympic rings. They dangle like chains or ropes or bands. You got the rings, dude, and they was doing fucking flies with them, and flies and just like regular, almost like push-ups. I'm like, fuck, dude, that'd probably work the shit out of your chest. I'm just bringing it up because I thought of it. Be cool to have. Am I going to get any rings? No, I'm not, but just a fucking idea. I mean, some of you guys might like it. Might be for you. I'd like to do it. I just don't want to set it up. I'm not going to deviate from my routine to do it, but I was looking at it like, fuck, dude. And it's kind of weird because, well, I guess that's it. All right. And it's kind of weird. That guy's actually from a different country. And he was doing like a bunch of different variations of triceps I'd never seen before. He was working out with those rings. And it made me think like, dude, how many different type of workouts are there that people are using in different countries that are actually like super fucking good? Because a couple of the ones I've seen them, I'm like, fuck, dude, that looks fucking killer. But yeah, one was like a tricep, and he had his arm up against the thing. And just fucking, I forgot, he called him something. It was almost like the samurai fucking extension or some shit. It was like Chinese sounding or Japanese sounding. I was like, oh, that looks fucking cool. I actually might try that one. I got the equipment for that. Alright, drive home this set to failure here. I only bumped up 5 pounds because I'm not going to change all the fucking weights over, but I'm going to fucking drive it. Actually, I am going to. Fuck, I want to. I'm not going to.
While we're putting throughout the universe, this fucking phone call comes to me, right? So, and at that time, I had just started learning about the law of attraction and quantum physics and all these things that I think you know how much I believe in. I know you believe in too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I don't get to talk about it much because obviously in the past, like with my platform, it was all about training.
Right.
And the people that I work with, and I converse with them. This is one of the reasons why I keep the circle so tight, even with the clients, because I feel like all of these things help with success. So I want to get out a little bit. Like, what really it comes down to also what I call frequency, right? So a lot of people use that word frequency. So when you're getting on a higher frequency and the same frequency, what ends up happening is you're like, wow, I'm getting these really cool opportunities. I'm getting these really cool things handed to me. Because you're not aura around you, and the one once that happens, that positivity flows, and all of a sudden, the luckier you're like, oh,
Check the time here.
the positive I am, the luckier I get. And that is going to lead into also when you went into the contract manufacturer and you said, hey, look, I want to do this.
I'd like to do one more set of dips, just to kind of drive home that burn down there.
And you know, our first product actually we had made elsewhere. So we had been using a contract manufacturer in Canada to make.
I actually planned on doing that.
So first one is
Just trying to be cautious of the volume I'm throwing in on chest, because I do them every 6 days. In 6 days I'll be doing chest again. So start chipping away at your body's recovery ability too much, then that 6 days is going to be too frequent. So trying to find the fine line. I don't know if it's best to actually just fucking demolish the chest and then wait however many days you got to, or if you should back it off a little bit to where you can still get on that 6-day regiment and be recovered, so you can do it more frequently. I don't know. I guess over a year you could do chest 25 times instead of 20 or something, whatever arbitrary number, whatever. I guess maybe that, maybe or something too. I don't know. I'm gonna do one set here and that's it. Already got a good pump going, so just gonna drive it home and then start doing calves.
Andy was traveling like every month to be able to do speaking roles, speaking engagements, and he was basically going out and not only working with individuals, but also in a huge group environment. So you did both. So those are, I would say, kind of your primary businesses. Is that what you kind of summarize? Can you summarize that? Well, I'm talking about, you have First One, which is basically selling off from S2 stores. No, I'm talking about your primary stuff right now. So, is your focus?
We got First One, S2, which are stores. We've got a handful of like side investment products that we work on that are doing really well. We're
Okay.
Base, but we're in the group as a big owner. And then we have our taste syndicate.
I'm gonna unload this machine and get a different camera angle for calves. Alright, gonna kind of do the same thing here with calves. Not gonna say I'm gonna do a set amount of warm-up sets, but I'm just gonna kind of go with feel until I feel like I'm right there, and then just fucking drive one good set to failure home. And I'm gonna go over here. If you guys have seen my videos, do a couple seated calf extensions, calf raises, and then be fucking done with it.
So, dude, the thing is, and I tell people this all the time, it's like, I'm not a great coach because of the X's and O's or the grams of protein or this or that or this. The reason that you're the greatest coach is because you understand how to get people to see and get them through that thought. And dude, I know a lot of great coaches, bro. I've been around Lou Holtz. I've been around Urban Meyer. Okay, I've been around these guys I've been around Peyton Manning, like these dudes who are real coaches. And dude, the one thing that separates the great coach and the great operator from everybody else is not that fucking, oh, Andy, I need you to eat 1.275 grams of protein per fucking minute. Like, that's not what it is. What it is you get this to work with everything else in a proper way. And dude, you're one of the best that's ever been.
And I'll tell you what.
I'm just happy with it.
Thank you.
There's so many competing views in the health industry and fitness as far as workouts go. I just seen something today. They were talking about calves, and this is science-based stuff, right? And they're talking about, is it better to do the top half of the movement? Is it better to do the full range of motion? Is it better to just do the lower half? Which one is the best? Oh my God. And then they arrive that it's just the bottom half. Well, guess what? What do you think is the hardest part of that movement? Do you think it's going from the top? Or do you think it's where you're in the most stretched position to the hardest? It's like you're staying in the hardest range of motion. Of course, it's probably going to be the most stimulating and muscle building. Do you need science to tell you that, or do you just need to play around with the movement, figure out what range of motion is the hardest, and just fucking stick with that? And then after about, 3 or 4 times of working out, if you don't see any gains, if you don't see gains after a month, you're not going to see them after a fucking year. So if you ain't seeing the gains or improvements after a month, switch it up to something else until you're like, okay, that's something I'm actually seeing results from. So, a lot of bro science is just like, if you want to be confused, keep listening to everybody. If you don't want to be confused, come in here, maybe take a little information, come and apply it, sift it out, sift through it until you find it works for you. And then it's like, okay, I don't need your fucking product. I know it fucking works. I've been doing it. Look at me, whatever, So it's just like sifting through this fucking oceanic, I don't know, just all of these thoughts that are out there is just fucking daunting, bro. It's like you almost just gotta get quiet, just go in there and do it for yourself and see what the fuck works. And the thing is, too, is confused people, it's easier to sell them shit. Because you don't know what the fuck is going on. So it might be keto you need now, might be the carnivore diet next week. Why is it that they have the carnivore diet this week, and then this upcoming week it's the ketogenic diet, and now the carnivore diet's bad? Like, what the fuck? They're fucking horseshit, man.
Because if you earn the ability to now actually go train, because you need to balance it out. And that's what people don't understand, that you, in your life, you have to grind. You have to do those 12-hour days, 14-hour days. So later, not that you're going to cruise, but you could if you wanted to, or you take that time and effort and put it into yourself. And it's just like me with my journey, right? I was doing really well up until I had the car accident this year, and getting back in shape. And now with COVID, now we're just back again the last 2 weeks, and I feel great because we both think training is a natural therapy. But it really comes down to is that when you get your body and your body right, then your mind comes around. Then as your mind comes around, your finances come around.
Oh. All right on the verge of failure there with that.
Things are like a domino effect. And that's what I think.
I'm getting ready for this heavy set to failure. Yeah, it's like, dude, well, of course the bottom range of motion is the one that's the most muscle producing. Because it's the hardest part of the movement. Did you need a motherfucker in a fucking lab coat to tell you that? If you did, then you just can't think for yourself, dude. Or you just don't know body mechanics and how this shit fucking works. That could be it too, but you're just a confused person at that point. If you need somebody to confirm reality for you, you're real fucked.
I decided that in 2016.
You gotta develop some sort of fucking confidence in your decision-making process at some point. And it's only gonna be by trial and error, drowning out the fucking noise, and me fucking making calculations in my mind, and then applying them and finding out they actually fucking work. What the fuck? Who knew it? You actually got a brain in your head.
I was 350 because, dude, most of the fucking weight, I lost that first year. The rest of the time has been, just working. But
All right.
I was sitting on the couch, dude, and I had pneumonia. And anybody who's ever had pneumonia knows it's terrible. And I had it for like 3 weeks. So like I couldn't even, I had no energy. I couldn't go to work. And that movie, Pacific Rim, you've seen that movie, okay? And I'm always into those kind of movies that are like so bad that they're impossible not to watch. Like I like Pacific Rim, I like Resident Evil, and like I like those like nerd out movies. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny because and if you haven't seen Pacific Rim, it's about these giant robots and people jump on them. But anyhow,
there
so
used to
you're
be a
watching it.
movie in the 80s just like that called Robot Jock. And when I was a kid, I thought that was the coolest movie because I'm like, yeah, dude, I want to get one of these big robots when I grow up. Fuck man, I still might build one. I don't know. Thinking about it now. But like that movie came on, I watched it, and dude, I swear to God, I watched it every day for like 3 weeks. Probably a couple times a day. Because it was like shit where they just replay it. So I'm watching this movie. Dude, I can fucking recite that movie. But anyway, I remember I'm sitting there. And I'm looking at my phone.
Dude, Dorian Yates did let's say 2 sets to failure with calves. That was it. And you have like, I want to say 24-inch calf, dude. And he'd only do that like once a week, I'm pretty sure. I think every 6 days he did it. And he'd do like 1 set to failure, maybe warm up, and 1 set to failure with the standing calves, and then seated. He would do 1 set to warm up and then 1 set to failure with seated calves. I know we only did 2 sets to failure over a 6-day period. Fucking big old fucking calves, dude.
This is why motherfuckers kill themselves. Like, this is why rich people.
It's that gorilla doing a 400-pound gorilla doing a 1-arm pull-up. Why can't we do that? Well, we're in the gym trying it. This motherfucker only does it once and goes and eats and rests. Next time he comes back, he's stronger, dude. So it's the volume is definitely an aspect in getting stronger. Making sure you got the proper rest. Because I always say, like, you don't grow in the gym, right? You're coming every day trying to grow in the gym. Dude, all you do is kick the growth mechanism into gear in the gym. Boom, you stimulate the growth. Then you go home and rest with the proper nutrition, and that's when you grow. It's completely backwards. All right, 1 little warm-up set here, pre-exhaustive type set, and then we'll do a set to failure. I'm gonna call it good on calves here, with a total of about 2 good working sets to failure. The rest are just warm-ups and pre-exhaustive sets.
You're a big guy, you know. It's one of those things. You're built big bone.
I'm built like an athlete, you know.
Yeah.
And
6 foot. What are you? About 6 foot? 6'1"?
6'1", yeah. So, you know, at that weight, I was just thin, and I was just not. I wasn't feeling it. So I'm like, okay, and you know, dude, after losing that kind of weight, you're very paranoid about it.
All right, just gonna go into my heavy set here.
What actually happened, and this for me, is that I basically, this kind of happened by accident.
Had a guy in the comments, he's like, nobody cares about maxes on calves. Like, well, luckily I'm not doing maxes on calves. Those are my actual fucking working sets, stupid. You know? Hey, what the fuck? Watch the fucking video for some context or something, huh? Jesus fucking Christ. And actually, the funny thing is, I explained it in the video before that, and for some reason, this fucking went right over his head, and then he still talks shit. He's like, what the fuck, bro? You don't realize it, but you're actually fucking... You're actually saying something I already addressed, but you think you're smart doing it, but you're not because I already addressed it. What the fuck? Whatever, dude. Alright, we're going to drive this home for as many as we possibly fucking can. You guys ready for my max calf, my calf max here?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with how I actually first heard of firstborn. Because firstborn is not a typical bodybuilding brand. You know, we have typical bodybuilding brands that we see at shows and whatnot. So what ended up happening, first time I ever heard about firstborn was actually through something that very mutual to us, a love and passion that we have, which is cars. And I ended up, you're gonna love the stories. I don't even know if I told you.
I know this story because it's the first time I really got to.
You do?
Talk about how you try to sponsor Gold Rush.
Alright. That was day 70 of 75 hard. Did chest and calves today. Appreciate you guys following along with me. If you like the way I take you through the workouts, please share, like, and subscribe. If you don't like them, cool, part as friends. Tomorrow I will be back with hamstrings, I think. Might do a full leg workout, depends on how I feel. But that being said, I appreciate you guys following along, and I'll see you tomorrow.